Hey everyone, welcome back to Gooseberry Homestead. So, I am showing you what I've been working on here. As you can see, there is some tile that has been laid, and I'm going to explain why I'm having to do this. As you can see, I have my little fake fireplace space heater here, and I'm just going to explain why right now. Okay. So our landlord is in the process of selling the duplex that we are currently living in. And the last month has been so chaotic and there's been so much stuff going on. We've had people coming and going. We had an open house back in the end of August. The landlord did accept an offer for the house, and now he has had an inspector come and inspect the house, letting them know what things are up to code, what things are not, what things need to be fixed, what things, to basically ignore, I guess. And so, one of the things that needed to be checked out and looked at and possibly fixed was our furnace. And we have gas heat with forced air furnace. And so I guess the gas works with the furnace. And then that forces the air through. And we have vents in our house that come up from the floors. And then it heats our rooms. And we also have the fireplace in the house, as you can see right here in front of us. Well, the inspector said that it looked like the furnace needed to be cleaned out. And he wasn't exactly sure, other than the fact that it was a really old furnace and that needed to be something that needed to be cleaned and checked out. Well, one of the furnace company guys came and he took a look at the unit. He actually put a camera up inside and went down the ductwork and that sort of thing. And he said that the furnace and everything was falling apart, that it had to be completely replaced, that it was rotting from the inside out. I'm not sure how that happens with the furnace. I always figured it was something that you could just, that like ducting and stuff like that, where the air flows and stuff. I didn't think that, since that stuff's not really exposed, I wouldn't think that would fall apart or rot from the inside out. Not exactly sure. I'm just going off of what I heard, what the guy told me. Excuse me. A lot of stuff in the air. Weather's changing. So that's what we were told. The guy immediately went to our breaker box. He turned off our furnace thing on the breaker box. He blew out the pilot light and he came in and he told us absolutely under no circumstances are we to use the furnace, that it is unsafe to do so, and that, we just couldn't use the furnace. And he said that by law, the landlord has to supply heat to us. Okay, so, we've been without a way to heat our house properly. This is what we've been using. We have been using this little tiny space heater, and so not a proper way to heat a whole house, like 900 something square feet with this tiny space heater. And the weather's starting to get cold. So it's been at least 3 weeks. It'll be 4 weeks at the end of this week. It's been almost a month. All right. So now we actually had a call and asked for we called the property management office, and we asked them to see if the landlord could at least send somebody to clean the fireplace, because the fireplace had never been cleaned by a chimney sweep, and we really needed a way to heat our house. If we had to heat our house with the fireplace, we need another way rather than just using the space heater, the one that we have. Well, the landlord had a chimney sweep come out, and while he was doing the chimney sweep, he was also inspecting the the insides of the chimney. And as you can see, there is rust on the walls in here, and that is from moisture that trickles down from the top of the chimney. It comes down and runs down, and on this side up in here, there's actually a like a little vent thing that for the flue, so you can open and close it. The guy actually had to use a giant hammer, and it took him, and he's got a lot more strength than I do, it took him like almost 12 bangs with a giant hammer thing to get it to open, because it was that rusted, because there wasn't a cap at the top of the chimney to keep water from running down. And mind you, we are in Washington State, so this will eventually rot out the metal liner inside of the fireplace and could cause a fire issue in the long run. However, he said it just needed a cap. So apparently there's not that much damage. The next thing he told us, which is why we see this tile here, he told us that this wood right here along the bottom, that it is combustible. Of course, wood is combustible, right? And that you can't have wood like this right in front of the fireplace. So you have to put down some tile. And he says it doesn't have to be thick tile. He says just a layer of tile across the wood. All right. Well, the other day, and the landlord, I'm going to tell you this right now. The landlord, I know without a doubt, he was not going to put a cap on the top of the house, and he was not going to lay this. Because the house inspector that came to do the inspection for the house, he didn't note this down as a combustible. And so therefore it wasn't one of the things that the landlord had to fix before we moved. And in order to use the fireplace safely, the chimney sweep told us we had to do this. We had to put down tile. Landlord wasn't going to do it unless we, I guess, asked him to do it. But since I got the tile all for free, I don't have any receipts of or anything like that. So what happened is one of my friends and her husband just got back from Germany, and while they were away, all their stuff here at their home in close to where I live, they had all of these tiles. They have a ton of tiles in their garage, and they had all these tiles out in their garage, and so much more actually. And so they were just sitting there, and he just out of the blue, when I was over there helping them get their house ready to rent out, they were like, so do you need any tile? Out of the blue. Really? I had no idea, that he was going to ask that. And this was the one thing that we needed to be able to use the fireplace this winter if we needed to. And I knew our landlord wasn't going to do it, and we didn't have the extra money in our budget in order to do it. So basically we had been just heating with our little tiny fireplace here, the little space heater. So I was like, okay, well, yeah, actually I kind of do. And so I was like, well, I need to measure this section of the wood and see how long it is, and how, what I need to do, to finish it off. And that way her husband could figure out, how many tiles to give me. Well, it worked out. He actually let me borrow his diamond blade tile saw, and he gave me the cement stuff to put underneath the tiles to lay them down, which I've already done. And I had the spacers in there yesterday. This morning I took them out, and I have them all in place. It's been almost exactly 24 hours since I set them, and I'm getting ready to do the grout work now. And he gave me a little tub of pre-mixed gray grout, and I'm going to put the gray grout in between. And there is some gray in the tiles themselves, and I will have to wash them off. And I've gotten a little bit on my rug and on my floor down here. And that's what you see down there. Little bits of, the cement mix stuff, which when it's not on underneath the tiles and stuff, it kind of just wipes away. It's very powdery. Yeah, so I mean, these would be easy to remove, to replace at a later time if somebody wanted to. So basically, I mean, they look really nice. They're very neutral color. They're gonna work well in my living room. I think they look good with my rug even. Like, that matters, honestly. But, because it's just a rental unit, okay? So I'm going to get this done. Our new landlords will probably appreciate the fact that I am doing this, because he seemed like a really kind man. And so I'm actually just looking forward to having a landlord that is probably going to be a little bit more attentive than a landlord that is a flipper, okay, and flipping houses and only worried about the money. He's not. I mean, we were without power so many days this last month when they were redoing the circuit breakers out in the garage for the electrical panels, and we had like almost 3 to 4 days without power. And my husband works from home, and he has to have the internet in order to do his job. And they basically made it impossible for us to collect enough money for our own bills and for rent and all of that other stuff in those 4 days that we were without power. And the landlord did not this month, he did not last month, did not acknowledge my husband's request for a rent reduction, for the inconvenience, for being able to make the money that we needed to make. They actually burned up one of my husband's hard drives and messed up his other one because his workers, the landlord has a construction company, and he sends workers that work for him out to do the jobs. So a lot of the times the workers that show up are people that work directly for our landlord. And so their workers would just come and just flip the stuff off without even telling us. And you can't do that to your computers. And so it really messed up my husband's computer. And then he had to go and buy a whole new hard drive and stuff because the other one's about ready to break because of all of this. And light bulbs burnt out in the kitchen and then the fridge. We're going to have to buy those again too. It's just ridiculous. And the constant people coming to do work orders, to do other jobs that have to be done before the house is ready to be fully signed over to the new owner. And I mean, we have to be home. People are constantly trying to get in our house. They put one of those lock boxes on the front. I just don't think that's right. I don't feel that's safe to have like our key hanging from the front door in a lock box. I mean, come on. I just don't think that's right. People are just way too lazy these days. They don't know how to just drive and go to a place of work, get the key for the job, and then, you know, that's what should be happening, not, you know, just leaving something. I just think it's wrong, personally. If the house was empty, then that's okay. But there's people living here. I just don't think that's right. Sorry, pardon me. Anyways, yeah, so this is pretty much what we're doing. I'm getting ready to put the grout work into here, and then we'll soon be able to actually use the fireplace, even without the cap on the top. That's just to help save the longevity of the fireplace. And I'll kind of zoom down here so you can see the work that I did. I have 5 of these tiles across here that are all one size, and these are the normal size right here. And then on the other side, I have another 5 tiles that were the same size. Now, I had to cut about 2 inches off of these, and they were about 13 inches long. And this one I had to cut just a tad smaller. And you can kind of see, because I'm very much a perfectionist, and that's probably the artist in me, but you kind of can see where it's just a little bit shorter than the other one, just a tad. And so I tried laying it so that it wasn't too noticeable. And then for the insert on the fireplace, they have these screws down here, and I don't even think they're not. They're just underneath the insert. They're just in the wood right there. And so there was 4, I believe. Yeah, there's 4 here. Come on, zoom. There's one over here. And then there's one here. And they're all in different spots on the tiles. And so I had to make those cuts too. And then I just kind of used a diamond saw and just cut in, and then just like, you know, I figured out where to put the placement of the tile, where to start cutting so that I didn't cut too much off and that sort of thing. And I wanted to just be able to get it around the screw. And I'll be putting grout in there too. And the back part's going to be a little bit harder to grout but I'll get it done. And it'll look super nice when I'm all finished with this. It's gonna look so nice. I cleaned the glass after we moved in because it was pitch black. So that's one of my first indicators that I knew that the fireplace had never been cleaned properly. Like, they opened it and they swept it out a little bit, but there was so much junk inside, just random, just looked bad. I mean, well, I'll show you something. This came with the house too. Came with an Adidas hat. Isn't that nice? Oh, and my kids left a candy wrapper for me. So yeah, the house came with the Adidas hat. I mean, I don't think those holes are supposed to be plugged up down there. Honestly, I think they're for venting heat out from underneath. But I think the reason why they're plugged, from one of my neighbors told me that there was a rat infestation, and that the rats one winter were coming down the chimney into the house. Not this unit, and it was going on in her unit, but that might have been happening in this unit because there is a hole chewed in the top of the hat down here. If I zoom down here, you can kind of see the hole in the hat that's been chewed right there. It's kind of hard to see. And anyways, I'm not sure if that was chewed while we've been here, or I'll have to look back at my photos because we did catch a rat the end of August in the house and I got rid of it. So, and I haven't seen any more rats since. They were coming in through the wall plumbing area in the kitchen under the countertops, and they kept saying there was no holes behind the counters, which is complete baloney because I caught a rat in the kitchen. But it wasn't getting on my counters, okay? I just wanted to specify that. The rat had never got on my table, never got on my counters, because I don't have any chairs really for my dining room area table, because there's really no room in this house for chairs, and so I don't have any chairs around the table. And there's no, there was no way for the rat to climb to get on top of the, to get onto the counters. So nothing there. It was just coming in underneath the cabinetry in the kitchen. So it wasn't actually in my cabinets or anything like that. So that was good at least. But I'm wondering if maybe there is a spot down under here where the rats have come in before, because they haven't plugged up with styrofoam. And I don't think that's right. So I don't know what the people were like that were here before, but I heard that they were pretty nasty. And they did a lot of drugs and stuff, so I don't know. But yeah, we're getting the house and we're making it look as good as we can. I mean, honestly, this update right here, the house is gonna be left in somewhat better condition than what it was when we moved in, to a certain extent with this. I mean, there's only so much you can do when the landlord's construction workers break the countertops right behind the sink, and it causes water to leak down into their brand new cupboards that they put in. I mean, there's only so much that you can do when you have, crappy workmanship being done by the people that work for you. So hopefully this is going to be a really good update for our new landlord. And so yeah, here's to new beginnings. So anyways, like, comment, and click the bell button if you want to see more videos. And I will probably go ahead and follow up after I'm completely finished with a really super duper short video of the finished tile work when it's all done and I have it all decorated. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Bye.